Hello everyone, my name is AP the Weird One, and we are back with another video review of The Most Notorious Talker Runs the World's Greatest Clan, Episode 4. I'm conflicted about this episode and conflicted about the series going forward. Remember the censorship I talked about in Episode 3, where I said Alma's feet has been censored. Well, Episode 4 started on a more censored note, and it's driving me a little bit nuts, and I'm also a little bit conflicted. Censorship is bad, and this anime is no exception, given that it's supposed to be rated PG-13, which it means no nudity. It means no like nipples or and less gore, whatever. But there's not any of that in this anime, and there's also anime that conflict with that. Now, the reason I'm conflicted is because, yes, I am against censorship, but there's also something like Dragon Quest Adventure Die, that was 2020, that did censor stuff. There was some, I guess, so to speak, necessary censorship, because there were shown nipples in the manga, which they removed, but there was also unnecessary censorship with the deal with Mam having leggings for her martial arts outfit. That, to me, wasn't the biggest deal, but there was an episode where Princess Leona wore a dancer dress from the Dragon Quest series, and they censored it and made it something different. That one bugged me a little bit more, and there's also episode when was a little bit changed in the manga. There's a scene where a bad priestess gets her feet tickled, and she's also without pants. So there is that, and I'm conflicted, about that. And in this day and age, censorship is a big deal. I mean, there's more recently this new Sonic Generations. They've been censoring Rouge the Bat. There's been other notable cases, and this is no exception. I honestly believe that the Most Notorious Talker should have been rated R or be like rated 16 plus. I mean, there's examples of it. They're trying to play cutesy, but they're doing it in a terrible way, and it also seems like censorship as they're trying to censor more for age rating. So I'm not necessarily blaming the studio, but I think the age rating is going down. I mean, once upon a time we had Terminator where you could feature full nipples and even a freaking sex scene. It's like, no, this is not the case. Well, what censorship am I talking about? And yes, it is very bare. In this episode, Noel wakes up to our good friend Alma naked. Yes, she is naked, but that sheet is not supposed to be over her. It's supposed to be gone over the side. How do I know this? Because in the manga, right here and then, Noel is flat against her naked body. And this is just so minuscule, but this bears a problem going into the future. There's also the gore in this episode. Like in this episode, they go out to take out bandits, and the big bandit leader, they clearly show in the manga his head being lopped off. They do a stabbing scene instead, but they show a severed head. It's like, this is supposed to be a gory series, and I'm not a big fan of gore, but that doesn't necessarily take away from this. Now you could say, well, it's not necessarily a light novel. I mean, maybe they're playing more towards light novel, even though based on more of the scenes and how things are going, it is more towards the manga. Another thing that also bugs me, and we'll get to the light novel because there's something I do want to talk about. They're being sexist. Noel Stallings, we've shown like episode 1, his sweater shirt, they removed the arm. They should move the arms, and it's like, no, that's not the case. He has it. I'll go to another later part. I meant to go to another part of the manga. Give me 1 sec. I'll be right back, and I'll show you what I mean. So in the anime, they uncensor his sweater. They show uncensored. They show like the arms, and I could show in the anime as well. But I'm just trying to show they get rid of this. So there's a deliberation of sexist. I mean, I shouldn't say it's like, oh, it's the animators, but it could be that the main studio, may not necessarily be the people. But they're being sexist in terms of who they uncensor, and it just bugs me, and I don't know if I really want to continue the show. And the reason there's another part of this problem is later on, we see that Alma wants to wear basically. She wants to wear pads basically on her nipple coverings. Like, she doesn't want to barely wear any clothing. And Noel's like, no. And it's like, okay, that's no big deal. They're going to censor that. The problem is this comes up later in the light novel. Now let's talk about the first part. So in the light novel, we see, I'll just tell you, Alma was sleeping soundly next to me. That was a fine. We'd planned to sleep in the same bed. The problem was that she was completely naked, and that the face had been covered by her oversized breasts. She'd been using me as a body pillow. I thought I was overthinking things, but this is ridiculous. And I was dizzy, and it wasn't just leftover grogginess from the sleep. In fact, my head hurt. So, it does imply that he is against her naked breasts in both the manga and light novel. Now, about this outfit in Volume 2, which they're not going to get into in the anime, but I want to press upon it. Hey, now, are you enjoying all this time with the rich and fabulous? Asked Zeke. He was dressed in black from his shirt to tie and a smile on his face, but Alma and I weren't looking at him. Our gazes were fixed on his date standing next to him. She was glamorous, showy blonde, who in no way looked like a respectable person. Most of all, she was undressed for the event. Literally, she was wearing the scraps of cloth that just stuck to various parts of her body, the ones that Alma had wanted, and standing nonchalantly next to Zeke. Hey, see, she has the same outfit I picked out. Look. All I could do was facepalm. Yes, they are going to show... That is in the novel. Now, the manga has not caught up with that. So will they show it? Probably yes, in the manga. But let's move on to another point. This is supposed to be PG-13, TV-14. We know, in fact, in Fairy Tail, a series, Dragon Quest, The Phoenix Priestess, this series, which this fan series comes from, and also Fairy Tail in general, Lucy Artfilly, among other members, has been constantly naked. This is what the show is, that we're downgrading what it means to be PG-13. PG-13, you could get away with a lot of it, but now we can't. And on top of that, it's being sexist, because Noel allows to show more skin, but Alma is not. Am I going to continue watching this series? I don't know. I could bring about my life, but I'm not happy. But I understand I do get views, and maybe people want to hear my opinion going forward. Now, it's from here on out until said scene, which we're not going to get to in the season, based off of what I've seen so far, the evidence. But it is going to be gory. They are toning it down. And I honestly think this series should have been rated PG-16 or something, or rated 18+. It is a dark, grim world. Noel Stallings is a fucking asshole. In this episode, he demands to get payment for killing the bandits. Does Noel, not only is he tricked and wanting to drink poison, which he found out easily given who he is, and he drank a better wine, but in repayment, he gouges out his eye, and he says, if I give you all the money, will that matter? And he's like, no, if I give you the payment, will that be enough? And it's like, no, but I owe money to the Gambino. I don't give he says, I don't care. It's not my problem. The little daughter here, she gives the money and leaves off, and he's like, I now hate you. And yeah, Noel Stallings does not give a care about your problems. He wants to get paid. He wants to be, he wants to be told honestly. It is a brutal world. And you think, oh, his grandfather Brandon would be the exact same. Fuck no. Brandon grew up in a terrible childhood. I don't know if the manga is going to get into this, but I don't think it's going to happen this season from my recollection. Brandon Solon was a barbarian. He was a freaking Viking. He'd kill one person, then the other day he's fucking some prostitute. I mean, the dude, that was his basically life. And the only reason he changed who he was is because he met a woman he fell in love with. And Alma is not going to be that person, possibly, because Noel doesn't mix business with pleasure. He wants the most male gain so he doesn't have to worry about these relationship stuff, which is what happened with Tanya and Lloyd. So, and no one wants to be the greatest talker. In some respects, he has no, we're going to find out later, he doesn't care about his life. If he can get his goal, then he can forego being a family. He wants to be remembered. He wants to show that as a stalker, a talker, you can be grateful in life. And yes, and in some ways not necessarily off the backs of others. No Son does actually care about his companions, and things that like an asshole would do, he would do himself. He's gonna take medicine that makes him super strong, but it greatly infects his life. In the most critical moments, he pushes his mental capacity to the limits that could potentially kill him. And in a situation, that not only using his brain, but at a moment where he could have died. So he's willing to push himself to those limits to prove that he can be the greatest seeker, like his grandfather. He wants to live up that legend and show it, like I said, possible being a talker. I'm going to end it here. I'm sorry if I'm being angry. This day and age, it just really sucks with the censorship more than ever. And it's also sexist censorship as well, like I said. I gotta think about it whether or not I'm gonna continue. I got a fair number of anime. I could easily drop this, but if you guys want me to continue, let me know in the comments. Comparisons. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful day. See you guys next time, and please don't support Crunchyroll. Well, Crunchyroll is a piece of shit to begin with. Support the author. Buy the manga. Buy the light novels. Show that this series is good, because it is a dark, fun fantasy, like I've said in my light novel reviews, and I want people to experience it. And I hope that Jockey is able to deliver it in volumes 5 onwards. God bless you all. See you guys next time.